Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, I already apologized to the Corn Belt and Northeast viewers here yesterday morning, but apologies for the audio quality today and Friday. I took the family out of town for the week, went off and left the microphone that I usually plug into the computer, so we're using the internal microphone on the laptop here, so it may just sound like I'm in a tin can here today, but we'll deal with it today. We'll deal with it till the end of the week here on Friday when I get back home and kind of resume proper production. So bear with me. Let's go ahead and jump in here. I'm continuing to receive some impressive imagery coming out of the Canadian Prairie while we continue this active pattern across the region. Jim Hale sent me this photo here from southwest Saskatchewan, which came from a storm here that moved through, producing some strong winds. I saw a report of a 76-knot gust at the Mankota weather station there, which is 140 kilometers per hour or 86 miles per hour. That is some damaging wind. So we talk about, tornadoes being a devastating force of wind here, but some of these storms that produce simply straight line wind gusts can produce some, more impressive damage than some of our weaker, short-lived tornadoes. So thank you, Jim, for tagging me and sending me this photo here from southwest Saskatchewan. And again, continue to do so. If we continue this active pattern here, you get a shot of a storm, some damage, or you want to give me some feedback here about, what you're observing in your location over your fields, shoot me an email at andrew.pritchard@nutrien.com or on Twitter at SkyDrama. So let's go ahead and jump in. As we take a look at temperatures here on Wednesday morning, we continue to be warmer in the east, cooler in the west. We've got another storm system making its way across the prairie here early this week. You can take a look at the satellite picture and you see that counterclockwise flow there, that kind of comma shape evolving. We've got several clusters of storms ongoing, a pretty intense cluster south of the Canadian border here across portions of northern Minnesota that continued across North Dakota into Minnesota last night, producing some strong winds, prompting tornado warnings. And then we've got showers and storms kind of arcing back to the west, all the way back towards central Alberta here as we get going through this morning. So let's flip it over. Let's look at the radar. Again, extensive showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder back across central Alberta, and then all the way along that frontal boundary into southern Manitoba. Even some showers moving through the Winnipeg area here early this morning. As we go ahead and take a look at the forecast from the high-resolution NAM model, it's going to show us another chance for showers and storms across the prairie today and tomorrow. I'll go ahead and take it into mid-afternoon today, looking for that area of showers on the backside here to move across the southern border of Alberta and Saskatchewan there, with much more isolated shower and thunderstorm activity possible as you head east there into southern Manitoba. We'll go ahead and take this forward into the early part of the overnight here. Let's go ahead and jump ahead. This is about 7 p.m. tonight, around 10 p.m., midnight here, getting into the wee hours of the morning now on Thursday. As we watch the area of low pressure continue to move off to the east, we'll see those showers and storms most numerous tomorrow morning across central and southern portions of Manitoba. Let's take this just slightly further. We'll take it into the afternoon on Thursday, watching for, we'll be kind of between waves here across the prairie where parts of, eastern Manitoba may see some showers and storms Thursday evening. We'll see our next area of low pressure emerging now across western Alberta, so some showers and storms possible across central and western Alberta as we head into Thursday afternoon and evening, Thursday being a quiet day across Saskatchewan. Let's go ahead and take the drawings off once again. Let's take this into Friday now. Friday afternoon, we see our next area of low pressure, the center right here across central Alberta, moving from west to east quickly through the period of Friday and Saturday. So Friday afternoon, seeing those thunderstorms flaring up across central Saskatchewan. So a quiet Thursday in Saskatchewan, but a noisy Friday likely across the region. We'll take this into Friday night and then early Saturday morning up to around noon Saturday. Quieting out, a quiet Saturday likely across Alberta and Saskatchewan, with those showers and storms being the most numerous across central and southern Manitoba. So let's take a look at the instability forecast here. Where are severe storms most likely? Today it's going to be across portions of southern and central Manitoba, perhaps back into portions of east central Saskatchewan. And I'll kind of diagnose today's severe weather threat here in just a moment, but let's follow the progression of storm systems from west to east. Again, this afternoon, instability highest from central Saskatchewan back into central and southern Manitoba. Some elevated instability here across the high plains of Alberta, maybe some hail-producing storms in that region, but not quite the robust severe weather threat that we've seen over the last several days. Let's take this into Thursday afternoon. Again, that first storm system is making its way well off to the east, so maybe some light coverage of thunderstorms in this area, but Much of the instability with this one well off to the east at this point into Ontario, but draw your attention back to the left, starting to get some higher instability levels once again with the second storm system. Again, that's why we can see some hailstorms across central portions of Alberta as we get into Thursday afternoon and evening. Take this into Friday. Our second storm system now making its way west to east. Not quite the volatile environment that we've seen with some of the systems here in the last 1 to 2 weeks across the region, but certainly enough to produce isolated severe storms across Saskatchewan on Friday. And then we'll take it into Saturday, watching this next storm system move off to the east. That's where we'll be talking about at least isolated storms being possible across central and southern Manitoba. So let's look at today, Wednesday afternoon and evening. We've got surface winds in the top left. We've got instability in the top right. We've got our mid-level winds at 500 millibars, which is about 30,000 feet above our heads here in the bottom left, and then in the bottom right, we've got our moisture, our dew points. So we take a look at the surface winds in the top left. You can see the counterclockwise flow around that area of low pressure, the center of low pressure right across central, maybe southeastern Saskatchewan here at this would be 7 p.m. this evening. Take a look at our instability though. Much of the higher instability off to the south, or off to the east of that area of low pressure. If we kind of take a look at things here, the highest instability across eastern Saskatchewan back into central and southern Manitoba, with kind of lower instability along that front. This is our front where you see that dividing line right there. We take a look at the reason for that, and it's the dew points. So we've got a kind of a front that's aligned itself like this, such that the real warm and humid air is kind of east of that area of low pressure, which is located back to the west here. You know, we already drew that on the other map, but instead of having that higher instability right up against that area of low pressure, which would be a much more favorable region, the more unstable air masses well off to the east, kind of displaced from that area of low pressure. So not a great alignment here. We don't quite have everything coming together right in the same place. We can look at those upper level winds. Again, we've got kind of a stacked system, which means our area of low pressure at the surface is directly below the area of low pressure at the upper levels, kind of in the jet stream. So a stacked system like this it's kind of a decaying system, and again, it's why we saw that kind of robust severe weather threat with those extremely strong winds with those storms across southwestern Saskatchewan yesterday as this storm system kind of peaked. Today, marginal environment. I would say that maybe we get some hailstorms across portions of central into southeastern Saskatchewan. If we're going to see any strong storms, that threat would be from hail, and then maybe the threat of some damaging winds, more organized severe storms producing some large hail damaging winds, maybe a tornado possible across central and southern Saskatchewan, but just not quite having it all come right together today. So just a low risk of severe storms across the region. Let's look at the next 7 days, the precipitation forecast anomaly. Again, the highest chance for excessive precipitation is going to be found here kind of over the next couple of days across the central and southern border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. We take a look at the total forecast precipitation between now and Saturday afternoon from the high-resolution NAM model. We see that where the front's kind of aligned like this. We're seeing that precipitation activity running from east to west along that front early this morning, and that's where we're going to kind of see things stacking up here, is across portions of east central Alberta into portions of central Saskatchewan. That's where we could see anywhere from about 25 to 60 millimeters of precipitation, with more scattered hit or miss precipitation setting up here where we get these isolated to scattered thunderstorms across that region. As we take a look at the upper level pattern, this trough across the west, this is going to continue to kind of ebb and flow and reorient itself, but essentially keeping active weather in the forecast across the prairie over the next week or so. We can take a look at the actual precipitation forecast, then we'll track each of our next 3 systems, I think I counted, over the next week. Watching the first one exiting now, that's what's going to bring that heavy rain threat to this region, and the threat for maybe isolated severe storms off to the south and to the east of there over the next 48 hours as this one makes its way out of the region. Here we get into now early Friday morning. We're watching our next storm system slowly emerge across the west. It's going to bring that next chance of showers and storms Friday into Saturday as it moves from west to east. We're now into midday Saturday. We're going to get quiet in between there before our next system comes sweeping out here in the early part of next week. So here comes now late Sunday, getting into early Monday. I'm watching for that next west to east progression of showers and storms across the region. This one now Sunday into Monday. So we've got 3 storm systems moving through now. The first one moving through now. We've got another one that moves through here Friday and Saturday, and then a third system that moves through Sunday and Monday. So absolutely, every 1 to 2 days, we get that chance for scattered storms across the region, and because of that, we do continue to keep at least a corridor here with the potential for some measurable, significant precipitation. We're looking at the probability of 1 inch or more of precipitation falling between now and July 15th. At 25 millimeters, 1 inch. Again, you see that dark red shading. That's where we get between 90 to 100% probability from central Alberta and kind of southern, southeastern, east central Alberta and through central Saskatchewan and then into north central Manitoba. And then as you head south from there, just more disorganized, more scattered rain opportunities. So just lower probability of more widespread, heavy precipitation across the region. But nonetheless, keeping an active pattern in place. We're looking now at the raw output from the European model on the left, the GFS on the right. Total precipitation between now and Saturday. Again, the heaviest precipitation in this corridor across north central portions of the prairie, and then scattered rain opportunities here. Hit or miss in nature. Some people may get missed completely. Others pick up a couple of downpours, but the precipitation is going to be disorganized and unevenly spread across that region. As we take a look at the temperature trends here, as these systems make their way from west to east, we'll see a bit of a roller coaster temperature swing here with opportunities for some extreme heat across the region. Each time that these little ridges, these little ripples, a little mountain, we're looking at 500 millibar heights here, and each time we see one of these little peaks and the heights make its way into the prairie, we'll see a little push of warmer air. So we'll watch this trend here. We're going to Thursday, taking it into Friday. We'll see our next little ridging event make its way in here over the weekend. Saturday into Sunday, you see it kind of doing that, and that allows some heat to nudge into the area here. Some of the first big heat that we've seen in the Calgary area here in some time as we've dealt with persistent troughing. Now it's brief warm up there before troughing once again takes over, so we see another push of cooler air coming in. I should definitely not be drawing that in red. Cooler air coming in on the backside here as we get into Monday of next week with that ridging pushing off to the west. So let's look at those temperature trends. Calgary, a bit on the cool side today, but warming up to a high of 26 on Saturday before resetting back to around 20 into the lower 20s into early next week. Edmonton, you peak on Saturday as that ridge builds into the region. 25 degrees for the high on Saturday, down to 20 on Sunday. A day delayed here in Regina, 28 for the high on Sunday, 26 in Saskatoon on Sunday. And then Winnipeg, you just continue to be either at average or a little warmer than average here, mid to upper 20s, expected for the next 7 days. Have a great day. We'll talk to you once again on Friday morning.